Hello and welcome back to Karma Stories. I'm Rob and I hope you are having a wonderful day today. Today I have some stories for you from the Tales from Tech Support subreddit. I'm a little tight on time today, so let's just jump right in and get our nerd on. This story comes to us from Eon Thief. Nothing like users trying to gaslight you. This is my first post back on here in a while, and boy, it's a doozy. This story is from yesterday, and I think this might have been one of the more frustrating calls I've been on with a user in some time. The day started out like normal, just a relaxed day working from home with a steady amount of calls rolling in. Then, shortly after I return from lunch, I get another call. Unfortunately for me, this call is not going to be an easy one. Thank you for calling the help desk. My name is Eon Thief. Can I have your name, please? Yes, hello, my name is User, and I'm having some difficulties with my scanner, printer, fax device. It won't scan. Alright, I can definitely help with that. Did you just receive this device? Yes, I did, but I was able to scan to it a couple of weeks ago. So you didn't just receive the device. Did you call the help desk to have us set it up for you? No, I just plugged it in and it worked. I guess they had the drivers installed when they set up the computer. Now, here is a great time to break away and explain something about the workflow that we use for setting up new hire computers. We don't install any drivers for printers or scanners we send out. This is simply because those devices are usually ordered by the manager after the fact, so they get set up as they come. Of course, I tried to explain this to the user to no avail. We don't install drivers for those devices ahead of time because not everyone uses them. They typically get installed after you receive the printer scanner. Well, they did that at my last company, so I just assume that's what they did here. Okay, well, most companies tend to have a different standard of operation. Anyway, let me remote into your computer really fast and get the drivers installed and the device set up. I remote in, and the entire time she keeps wrestling me for the controls and repeating the make and model of the device while trying to type it in a Chrome window on a second monitor. Remember this fact because it is important for later. Her constant wrestling for the controls though had me fed up, so I locked her controls from the software I'm using. Excuse me, I can't seem to type in Chrome anymore. Yes ma'am, I locked the controls because I'm trying to work on your computer and I can't do that while you're using it. Yes you can, they've done it before. Not here at this help desk ma'am, because the software we use and most remote control software can't have two people working on the device at the same time. Yes, they can. They've done it before. Ma'am, at least here, that isn't the case. I then proceed to work the issue some more, downloading the driver install program from the manufacturer's site and getting it installed. During this time, however, she asked me why she wasn't able to type in the open Google Chrome window or move her mouse 3 more times. I ignored her after she asked a second time. While waiting for the program to load, I look at previous tickets to see if she did in fact call the help desk for the scanner issue. I did find one for a scanner issue, but not this one. It turns out that she did have the help desk set up a scanner for her in office, not the scanner currently in front of her. I decided not to question that, but I did see something in the internal notes of that ticket that are only visible to us, and it read, "User would often interrupt, not follow instructions, and leap to their own conclusions for what I'm trying to tell her." Little did I know how bad this would get. As we're going through the setup, she begins to bring up the Brother app on her phone and how she can see the device on there. After a few attempts of trying to get the device to read on her computer and she brings up the phone app again, I start to get annoyed. Ma'am, we're not looking at the phone app for this. We don't actually support the phone app. If you would like to set that up, you can, but we have no support for it. Why are you talking about my phone? I'm talking about the Brother app. The Brother app on your phone? Yes, the Brother mobile app. What does my phone have to do with this? Ma'am, I only brought it up because you were mentioning the mobile app. I don't see what this has to do with my phone though. I mute myself and sit with my head in my hands for a few minutes. Thankfully, in that time, the laptop recognizes the printer and I was able to get it installed and set up for the user. We did a test print and scan, and it was successful. As I go through my wrap-up script and ask, is there anything else I can assist with, she unfortunately says yes. I ask how else I can assist her, and she proceeds to say that she can't open Google Chrome now, Mind you, I see the same Chrome window that she was typing in earlier in this call still open on her second monitor. I inform her of this fact, and she tells me that she wasn't typing in Chrome, to which I dragged the browser over with a site that she went to before I locked the controls. Where did that window come from? From your second monitor. I don't have a second monitor. Silence. I checked the display settings and showed her that she did have a second monitor. She then was quiet for a moment before saying she didn't have any other issues. Before I dropped the call, she then asked if there was a way to reach out to me directly in case this issue happened again, preferably via Teams. I informed her that we do not monitor Teams chat for help desk related issues, and that if you have any issue to either put in a help desk ticket or call the help desk directly. She pushed the matter again, and I gave the same response. She disconnected the call after this, but not before throwing out one last, "Well, they did it at the last company I worked for." This is the kind of user where you want to say to them, hey, if that other company you worked for did everything so perfectly, how come you're not there anymore? Why don't you go back to that company? Because they seem to do things the way you want them to be done. You know, you just don't seem to belong here if you don't like the way we do things. And don't you love these users saying that they wish they could get in touch with you personally if they have any future issues? It's like, no, Karen, I'm gonna do everything physically possible to completely avoid you every time you call in. Bye now. This story comes to us from Cheez-Its Lite. Engineering VP needs data from our website. Excruciating ordeal. Engineering Vice President with a professional engineering degree and a bachelor's degree in electrical engineering and head of software development, an obviously very intelligent person, needs help from me to get some data off of our website. So I go into his office to see what he needs. He needs to copy and paste something from our website. Okay, go to the website. He types in the search bar in Chrome, Google, and uses the mouse to click the search icon. I'm stunned into silence. Google comes up and he moves his cursor down to the Google search bar, clicks it, and types in the name of the company. Doesn't know the name of the website for the company that he's been working at for decades. And the website is our initials from 1994. But there's others that are similar. He grabs the mouse and clicks on the scroll bar and works his way down to page 2. I just watch in horror. Finds it and clicks it, and there's the website. He asks, what's next? Eventually show him the menu item he needs, and he finds the page and uses the scroll bar again to look at it. I bite my tongue. It's the most excruciating thing I've ever seen. He points to a paragraph, show him how to highlight it with the left mouse. I doubt he is aware of the middle or right. He selects a paragraph of text. Okay, now copy and paste that in. He used the mouse to go up to File, Edit, Copy, not Control-C. Not my job to teach him, and I like to watch train wrecks, so I'm super calm now. I have to tell him to go back to his editor. He doesn't know Alt-Tab, has no clue about the navbar at the bottom with the icon he needs. So I just watch as he clicks dozens of windows trying to find it. 2 monitors, so I wait. Finally finds it. I have to remind him to click where he wants it. Paste it in, please. Then he uses the mouse to File, Edit, Paste it in. The man has no idea of Control-V either. But then it gets worse. He says he doesn't need all this. Tell him to just delete what you need to get rid of. I say, got the delete key. He says he needs backspace. Okay, that will do. You must have seen You've Got Mail, where Tom Hanks uses AOL to lie to Meg Ryan why he stood her up, and then use 2 fingers to backspace everything. Yeah, that's my vice president. Jumping down to the comments on this one, we have one from a user called Subjective Adjective. It says, I mean, is this person any good at their job? At least delegating to knowledgeable people? I don't even know how to respond to this. It's been my experience that there are some very, very intelligent people out there like doctors and lawyers and whatnot who really just refuse to learn technology. But they're still very smart people and very good at their specific thing that they do. I guess it really is true that sometimes you can't teach an old dog new tricks. But one thing we can definitely say for this story is that OP has the patience of a saint. This story comes to us from Lady of Hell. Ma'am, do you know what a number is? This happened at my last job. I wasn't real tech support, but I knew how to Google things, which somehow made me the unofficial IT person for the office. I mostly dealt with low-key questions like, how do I take a screenshot? Or, can you fix my Excel sheet? Or, why does my printer not print? The printer wasn't turned on. They were cool about it when I didn't know something, so I didn't mind when everyone came to me with their problems. Anyway, this happened in 2020 during the early months of the pandemic. My boss asked me to call one of her clients because said client had a problem filing a request for money from the government. Yes, that was a thing here in Europe. Boss told her I'm good with computers and promised I'll help her with that. I tried to argue that I'm not actual tech support and this is a little bit above my pay grade. I'm dead serious when I say Googling is my only IT skill. This might as well be an issue with the client's computer or Wi-Fi or whatever. Boss insists I try anyway. Fine, let's give this a shot. I call the client, a small business owner, very nice lady. I ask her at what point she gets the error. She says it happens when she entered the amount of money. I ask what the error message says. She reads, loosely translated here, wrong decimal. Okay, I can work with that. I've got an idea. The following conversation happens. Keep in mind, since I'm not actual IT, I can't remote access her computer and see what she's doing. I was basically working blind. Sounds like you entered a wrong symbol there. Did you maybe add a comma and a cent amount? I think you're only supposed to enter whole euro amounts. No, I didn't. It's insert flat number with no decimals. Okay, good. Did you enter a dot between the first and second digit? It was a 4-figure number. No, I didn't. Maybe you have a space in there somewhere. Can you move your cursor to the front and end of the number and press the delete key once each time, please? I did. It still doesn't work. Okay, just so we're on the same page, you only have numbers in this field. You didn't enter a euro symbol or anything else that is not a number. No, only numbers. Still convinced I'm right with my hunch? Can you check again if there's a space in front or behind the number? There isn't. And you're absolutely sure there's nothing else? No symbols, no letters, no dot or comma, only numbers. She was confident. Only numbers. Ma'am, I'll tell you my mobile phone number now. Please take a photo of the field and send it to me. Less than 2 minutes later, I get a photo sent on WhatsApp. Very politely, with the self-control of a saint, I say, alright ma'am, I figured it out. Please delete the letters EUR you type behind the number. Short silence. Oh, it works now. Thank you so much. No problem. I hang up, and as I proceed to bang my head against the closest flat surface, I wonder, how can you own a business when you apparently never went to elementary school to learn the difference between letters and numbers? Jumping down to the comment section on this one, we have one from a user called Vector0. It says, 20 bucks says she wasn't even paying attention and she just kept saying, it's still not working, even though she hadn't even so much as looked at it. Ah yes, OP, welcome to the world of IT support, where the stupidity of people will eventually not faze you at all anymore. You'll just realize that it's a fact of life. But as you get to the point where it doesn't faze you anymore, you'll make a nice dent in your desk where you bang your head off of it every time somebody is just so dumb you can't believe it. This story comes to us from Fooligan Cosplay. I don't know where your file is. I wanted to post this short story from this morning because it has completely set the tone for the rest of my day and speaks to my biggest gripe with working help desk, the expectation that I am a miracle worker. There's a lady in my office who, despite being very kind and I otherwise have no problems interacting with, drives me crazy with her tech problems, of which there are many. She tends to fiddle with things, break them, and then come to me wondering why they are broken. This morning, she calls my phone asking for help, telling me that she has a Word file that she regularly updates, but that her most recent changes from a couple of days ago are not there. And the file says that it was last saved a few days before that. She wanted to know if there was anything I could do to restore the updated file. And I was trying to run through the options in my head. I figured the file server backup might work, but wasn't sure since this was more likely just a case of her not saving her work. Then she mentions that she's pretty sure she saved the updated version as a separate file somewhere, but isn't sure where that was. Now my brain's going off in a different direction, and all I could say was, I'll need to do some digging. I can't think of anything I can do for you off the top of my head. I also told her that if she just saved it somewhere, there's really nothing I can do to find it other than searching for it in File Explorer, which I recommended she do in the meantime. Apparently she didn't like that because she got frustrated and she said she would just redo all that work from the past few days if I'm not going to help her. And she hung up. I just don't know what I possibly could have done for her in that moment there. If the file wasn't saved, I can't pull it out of the ether. And if it was saved somewhere unknown, then running a general search was going to be her best bet anyways. This just seems to be a running theme. If I can't offer a solution then and there, I must have no idea what I'm doing, and I'm impeding on their ability to do their job. I'm hoping to be out of help desk within the next couple of years. OP added an edit down at the bottom. It says, edit, forgot to mention, but she had already checked recent documents and it wasn't there. It's more likely than anything that she just didn't save the file. Jumping down to the comments on this one, we have one from a user called Angry Cod. It says, sounds like a conversation to have with her boss. Too many people tend to treat IT like servants instead of coworkers, and it won't stop until you stand up for yourself. OP responded and said, yeah, that's fair. I think I just worry about there being bad blood in the office since we work in such close proximity. But I'd rather her be frustrated with me than think of me as a magician. This call for OP was the equivalent of someone saying to them, hey, I had a piece of paper I was taking notes on, and I put it down somewhere but I can't find it. Can you tell me where it is? I effed up and I expect you to save me, and if you can't, it's clearly your fault, not mine. This story comes to us from MainQuote 3604. Just another day in IT land. I work in IT support, which basically means I'm a mix of tech therapist, cable wrangler, and general panic button for anything with a power button. Today was a special flavor of chaos. Morning kicks off with a manager emailing me to say the conference room mic is making echo and demanding a new one with noise cancellation. No questions, no troubleshooting, just a royal decree. Sure, let me just requisition a NASA-grade mic from the void. Next up, someone asks me to disconnect her monitor and printer because she's getting a new desk. Unplug everything, move it out. 2 minutes later, she calls me back. Turns out the desk install isn't even happening today, so now I'm a reverse moving service. HR admin manager misses a call from a top exec and blames it on her desk phone not ringing. Turns out that she spent most of the time in the lounge area. She's now convinced it's a hardware fault because of course she is. And the best part, CTO calls in saying emails aren't going out and it's probably something serious. I remote in, check Outlook, and he's got one giant email stuck in his outbox. I delete it, and suddenly everything else sends just fine. Mystery of the century solved. I'm not saying I'm a miracle worker, but at this point, I feel like an unpaid magician. Jumping to the comments on this one, we have one from a user called ChessPlotter. It says, the problem with being considered a magician is that a magician doesn't need training or budget or tools or reasonable expectations. So you only need a magician. Also, a magician is unqualified for anything else, so is also unpromotable. Does anybody else here listening to this who works in the IT field or honestly any other field really wish that sometimes you could just hard reset the user themselves? Just think about that for a minute. Alright, I think we'll end this one here. If you enjoyed this episode, please remember to follow us on your podcasting platform of choice. And if you're on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button and drop a like on the video. It really does help us out. I thank you for watching and listening. I hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll see you tomorrow.